Hello, so today I thought I'd start a bit of a series where I'd go through some recent eBay sales that I found interesting or that I thought were overpriced or underpriced or had room to move or I think will come down in the future. So I was pretty much doing this anyway, looking up eBay listings, so I thought I'd make a video series out of it. I'll probably try and do one every week, but this video goes through the last few weeks of sales because I could see them all on eBay. But the first one I wanted to go through is Christian Petracca, and this is his 2014 Future 4 signature out of 200. This sold for $70, and to be honest, I think this is a pretty good buy. I know Petracca's having a great season this year, and you don't want to get too ahead of yourself, but he did get 20 votes in the Brownlow last year, and he's really starting to put himself out there as an elite player. And I feel like you could go either down like the Dangerfield route, because he's a 6'1", big body midfielder who's explosive and also kicks a lot of goals, or he could end up being more like a great player but a team great, like Sam Mitchell, or more recently maybe like a Dyson Heppell kind of character where he's a top player for his team but he's never considered top AFL wide. So it's going to be interesting to see where his career takes him, and I think at this price point, this is a good investment because he only has these 200 signatures, the red signatures or black signatures, whatever they're called, and he has 40 green ones. So that's only 240 rookie signatures, and he actually doesn't have a signature from the main set because in 2015 Honours they didn't do rookie signatures. So yeah, I think it's not a bad idea to give it a go, and just as a comparison, I thought I'd put this one up as well where his signature from 2018 actually sold for $100, or it said it sold for $100 on eBay. So I just find it strange that people might chase this one, even it's out of 180, so it's slightly rarer, but it just really doesn't hold any significance. And over his career, I think that he'll probably sign about 10 to 20 of these different random cards, so they'll all be grouped together as post rookie signatures and not really be that important unless he wins a Brownlow or something in the year of the signature, which he didn't in 2018. Actually, in 2018 he wasn't even playing very good football, so it doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me. For me, I think the Future Force signature should be about 3 times the price of this one. So I think the Future Force is a great buy, and this one is an average buy, or a bad buy, personally. The next card I want to talk about is this Brent de Leo draft signature. This is out of 600. This is the same release as the Lance Franklin draft signature, so 2005 Dynasty. And I find this interesting because it wasn't really put in the listing as much as people usually do, but this is his Richmond jumper number 3. So not only is it a low number that visually looks good in the card, it's also his jumper number. So I thought with the way Richmond cards are going these days, and de Leo was a pretty big player back in the day, I'd say almost a star of Richmond, and he did hurt his legacy a bit by going to GWS, probably isn't as collectible with the Richmond fan base because of that, but still having a draft pick signature at $200 of his jumper number just seems a bit low, and I probably wouldn't have this as like a long-term hold, but I definitely think you could buy this off eBay for 200 and then flip it for 250 or 300 if you find the right person, or if you know the right person locally or at a card shop or something like that. So it's an interesting buy. This Harry McKay card, the Marquee, this say was a few weeks ago when Footy Stars just came out, so it was even more hyped than it was now, but still this is a pretty ridiculous price. I mean, nearly $700 for this card, and I understand when new things come out, people just really want the card and they just got to have it, so they're willing to spend the money, and I accept that because if you have the money to throw around, like, why not? But from an investment standpoint, if you want to make your money or even just keep your money when buying cards, this is just the exact kind of card you don't want to look at. Because I can tell you in probably 18 months time, this will definitely be under $200, this card. And although it's numbered out of 70, and that it's the most rare card in the set, it doesn't even have big players on it. I mean, McKay's having a good year, but for example, you can get his 2014, the same year as Petracca, his draft, his Future 4 signature green. So this is out of 40, so nearly twice as rare as the Marquee, and it's his rookie card. You can get this for $200, and I think $200 is expensive for even then. So you could probably get it for even less. So to pay about 4 times you would on the Marquee than his best rookie card. If you like McKay, then I'd just get his rookie card. If you just need to have the card, then fair enough, but I would definitely expect this card to go down in the future. Next, we have this Travis Boak card, and I hope or think that this is not the price it sold for, but it says it sold for about $2,000. I'd say it was probably maybe a best offer or a fake sale. Maybe you always got to watch out for that. But if someone bought this for $2,000, yeah, I think they've got absolutely fleeced. It's definitely not gonna hold up in value. And I love Travis Boak. I think he's a top player. I think he will go down as one of the Port greats, and to be honest, I actually think he's an investable player in the future. I've picked up his rookie card for under $50, his draft pick signature. So if you can get 40 of his rookie cards for the same price as this one Brilliance, then I think, yeah, this person's just got completely hosed. And that goes for lots of Brilliance. It's really fluctuated as it's come out, and it does have some significance because it was one of the first, or I think it was the first box that just came with one card. So it's like ultra high end footy release. So it will have some future like historic value because it was the first of its kind. But I think a very large amount of the cards will have a steep decrease in the short term and definitely the long term as well. Now this next card, this is a super interesting one for me because I've never seen it before, but it's a TriStar signature with Judd, Jonathan Brown and Matthew Lloyd. And I just find it hilarious because obviously those three have nothing really in common except for being great players at the time. And I looked a bit more into it, and apparently Select put this out as you just buy the card from their website and they charge $500 each card, and it was out of 50. So it was just, it's hilarious because it's a blatant money grab, not only for the money they charge, the $500, but also just how they put it together. I mean, those three players have no common link really at all, and even the style of the card, I've never seen an AFL card like this. It's almost like robotic or futuristic. It's just a weird release, and ironically because of that, I think it's cool. Like, obviously it's sold for just under 500, so it's actually lost value since this came out, but I don't think it's going to go down a whole lot because there's just nothing really like it. It's yeah, maybe I'm thinking into it too much, but yeah, I just don't think there's too many cards that come out like this, especially with just the randomness of the players picked. Usually there's a thread between them, whether it be club or position or family or something like that. But yeah, I think this is a really interesting card. Okay, I'm trying not to be too negative. I've got one more negative card, and that's this Richmond Coleman predictor that sold for $300 on eBay apparently. And the only thing I can say to this is that Jack Rewalt's paying $8 on Sportsbet right now for to win the Coleman. So I'm guessing that's who they're hoping is going to win. So instead of paying $350 for this, I'd put $100 on that, and if you win, you're going to be able to buy this card and then have some change left over. So it doesn't really make a huge amount of logical sense to me. On the other hand, I'm not too sure what it's like in the other states, but there's absolute Tex Mania down here in Adelaide, and this captain signature sold for $315. And Tex doesn't have a huge amount of good footy cards because he didn't come through the normal draft protocol. He wasn't a highly touted draft pick. So yeah, I don't think this is a horrible buy. Definitely much better than the Coleman predictor. Finally, I'm going to try and end on some sealed product every one of these videos, I think, just to keep a bit of a market watch, because I think the sealed stuff is a great barometer of the rest of the industry. And the sealed stuff I'm looking at the moment, as always, is the top releases. That's 2005 Dynasty, and that's 2014 Select Honours, because that has the Cripps and the Bontempelli draft signatures, and 2010 Select Prestige, which is the holy grail in my opinion. But for this video, I've got a sold listing for the 2014 Select Honours. That's at $250, and it will be interesting to see what happens with this, because it's not really a good set, but it does have a couple good cards. So it will be interesting to see whether the good cards overpower the rest of the set and make it go up in price, or whether the rest of the not so good set just makes it stay where it is. I don't think it's going to go down a whole heap, if anything. The next one, this is just purely for my own information, is this 2013 Future Force which sold for $115. So I just want to keep an eye on that because I bought a case a while back. Lastly, I'd just love to say thanks to everyone who sent me a positive message or put a comment either on the groups I post on Facebook or here on YouTube. I really appreciate it, and it gives me lots of motivation to keep this channel going and see where it ends up. And I hate to say it, but if people could like, subscribe and comment. I just love when people comment in general because it lets me talk about footy cards, and I'm kind of sick of hearing my own beliefs on it. So if anyone else has differing or similar or beliefs or just interesting thoughts about specific players or cards, I'd just love to hear it and just get the conversation going. So I hope to see you next video.